Okay, welcome back Stationeers. Welcome back to the Vulcan Gas Depot series. In between episodes, I've done a fair bit of mining and manufactured a few things, and while I was out doing that, my jetpack is finally starting to run down, so I'm going to set up a system. It's kind of a temporary thing. I guess we'll probably make something a little more permanent later on, but for the meantime, I just need a basic fill station. I'm going to fill my jetpack with carbon dioxide. Previously I've been running on nitrogen, but I think I want to go CO2 since I have lots of relatively cold CO2, and if I put that into, living space or something, that's not going to cause any real issues. We're going to have a quick look at the automation down here, make sure everything's looking good. This is at 29.9 megapascals, so that means this automation has been running. When this gets to 30, this will kick on. And we're looking at 5 megapascals. That means this has been running correctly as well. So 0.348%. So we should have pulled some volatiles, although it's hard to tell. And we've got 2,000 kilomoles of, or 2 kilomoles of oxygen in here. So we're looking real good on that. All the tanks are looking good on pressure. And that's nice and cool, that carbon dioxide there. So that's looking lovely. So we will come back upstairs.
Jetpack low.
And beautiful. So we can put in, let's see, if we put in a pressure regulator there. That's what I was worried about. We're going to maybe have to put it something like this, I guess. Yeah, that's not exactly ideal, but we'll stick it there for now. Again, this is just sort of a temporary thing. We're going to worry about a more permanent solution later on, so for the time being, we'll just make it ugly. Okay, and then we'll put our utility tank on there. And now if we run this just a little bit, make sure we got carbon dioxide in there. That's looking good. And we'll set the pressure on that to about 7,000. And turn that on. Okay. And now, I guess let's just dump this nitrogen into this room.
Jetpack critical.
That's, nitrogen is beneficial in here, so that'll not hurt anything in here. And we'll let this charge up a little bit. I guess while I'm doing that, I can take my suit off. That'll help our hygiene a little bit. While we're waiting for that, I'm going to come grab a few more pipe meters. I'd like 5 more of those. Okay, we're going to come down in the basement here, and we're going to put a powered vent down here. I'd just like to have a system to pump air out of this room just in case I need to. We'll install that real quick. So it's just kind of a manual purge on this room. Let's see. I think, yeah, we'll put it in right about here. And then we'll assemble that and wire that in. And now if we run this, we can vacuum out this room just in case we spill any gas into this room. There's still a little bit over in this corner. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, we'll just turn that off. Oh, I did want one of these. So I made all these pipe meters. I'd just like to be able to check these pipes to see how they're doing. So that's looking good. And then I wanted one on this segment up here, too. There we go. So now whether I'm down in the basement or upstairs, I can see that that pipe is looking good. Our canister is restored for our jetpack. So I would like to start doing some trading in this episode. And that's going to mean we're going to want a ton of landing pads. I'm actually going to build a new landing pad. That is a, let's see, 1 copper and 5 steel. Those are expensive. So I guess we're going to do a quick little mining trip for more, as always, more steel. Just can't get enough of that. Okay, so one other thing I did in between episodes is I pumped all of the gas from this through here into this greenhouse room. So we can start tidying up a little bit here by taking some of this apart. And it'll be a drill to take that apart. And we'll just leave those wires there for now. And we're just going to leave that printing for the time being. Let's figure out where we want this landing pad. I'm thinking somewhere out here. Yeah, I think we'll just extend it straight out. Okay, so we're going to weld up some of this so we can walk around. So this existing 3x3 I'm going to extend out into a 5x5. So these two will actually be under the existing pad. So I'm not going to bother welding those because those are going to get landing pad surfaces installed on them anyway. And they don't need to be welded. It just saves sheets. Okay, so that's what will be the 5x5, and then this one's going to be a 9x9, so we're looking at, let's see, that one should not be there. Let's see how this works. Yeah, we want to remove that. And then this should be 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Okay, we'll weld up this little walkway here. There we are. Okay, so that's 9. And let's go check on the greenhouse while we're waiting for our landing pads to print out. We'll take a little break. Whoa! Oh, well, so that took care of the hydrogen that was in here. That's not good. On the bright side, there is very little volatiles left in the room. No volatiles at all, so that's nice. Oh, it's not the way I'd like to do it, though. Got a little bit of pollutants in there. The atmospherics unit down in the basement will take care of those, though. Well, that was kind of a fiery way to acquire a potato. Okay, let's see, is there anything else we can do here while we're waiting? Four, five, six. So we can actually get 6 more rows in here. Well, 5. We can't get one there. What about on this side? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2. We could get a full nother. We could double this grow area, or nearly double it. It's maybe worth looking into. I do plan to go to a second level on this greenhouse and do more ferns upstairs for even more oxygen production. But for the time being, we're not going to worry about that. Okay, let's keep filling this in. And let's get some landing pads put on top of those frames. And let's put in the center landing pad. Let's see, we want them to come in. Boy, I guess we do have to have them come from that direction. And let's go get a few more. Okay. And now let's make sure we've got the center in the right spot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the next one should be the center. Beautiful. Okay. So we'll need sheets now for the rest of this. We'll run and grab those. And let's weld this up. Ah, dead battery. Only 2 left to weld. Okay, that is a landing pad. So I guess we'll look at putting in... Let's see, we'll put the data and power here. And I believe that needs steel sheets. Cable coil. Okay. And we're out of cables. Okay. So that is those. We're also going to want to be able to buy and sell gas from both of these. So we're going to want, let's see, how are we going to do that? Let's relocate this data and power unit here. We'll put that there. There we go. And now we're going to want tank storages on those. Landing pad tanks. Okay, gas input. And gas input and gas output. Yeah, output and input. And those are going to want volume pumps. Okay, there's that. That and that. And we'll need to pipe those up. Let's see, our carbon dioxide line is in there. Oh, we don't want that on the center line though. That's going to have to be over by 1. Okay. Okay, gonna need a lot more pipes. Okay, got those welded. That's too far. Okay, so this should now have gas in it. It has carbon dioxide. And how's this looking over here? To check these tanks and make sure these are looking alright. So this has 1500 moles in it. It's a little bit warm, so we'll turn off the processing for now. And that'll drop the temperature. So this temperature should start coming down. I think when that gets below, is it 30? I think is the maximum cell temperature. And so we can make our first sale here to the trader that's been sitting here for something like 30 days. This poor guy has just been stuck here. And he is willing to buy carbon dioxide. He wants 1,000 moles at 0 to 40. Okay. So close that. This is looking real close. 40 degrees. And we're going to have to wait just a moment for that to come down in temperature. While we're waiting for that, let's just do a quick check out here. That pressure's looking good. That's coming down. Okay, we're draining our night gas tank. This is not ideal. It's unfortunate to be draining it on the way into morning, but that can't be helped. Everything else is looking good. Okay, 40.9. Okay, and I do just want to test this briefly. So this used to not be insulated, but it is now insulated, so that's looking good. So it's got 200 moles in it. Let's just make sure he will buy that. Available is 0. Oh, must be equal to 100%. It has to be absolutely pure. Okay. We're going to have to clean that gas up. So we'll have to take a little break here and sort that out. We'll need another one of these atmospherics kits. Okay, we are just going to put on as a temporary measure a little cleanup unit here. Grab an atmospherics kit, set it to filtration. Let's put it here. Okay, that's going to need to be wired in. Yeah, it's going to need pipes. Okay, pipes and coils and a screwdriver. So that is built, and let's plumb it in. Oh boy, this waste tank is filling up really quickly.
Air tank low. Air tank critical. Oxygen low.
I've gone through 2 waste tanks in like a few minutes here. We're starting to get really cooked out here. It's coming into winter where the temperature is warmer. Oh shoot, I wired this wrong. So this here actually can stay the way it was. And so we're going to pull... So this is the filtered output, but whatever filters we put in here is what we will take out of the system. And so if we put in an oxygen and a nitrogen in there... Oh, that's why. I've got my oxygen filter in my suit. No wonder. Okay, that should fix that. Okay, so if I just run this briefly and check what's in this pipe. So this here has only oxygen in it. Yeah, so let's just run that. And we'll just put all the oxygen from this whole tank system into this little pipe segment here. Might as well put that vent on there. Let's turn that off for a minute. So there's going to be oxygen in the gas that we put into the landing pad here. So let's take this atmospherics, gas output, and let's plumb that in as well. That's going to need more pipes. There we are. Okay, and then this is going to need a pump. Alright, and we can pump that out of there. So the landing pad now has nothing at all in it. And this has millimoles of oxygen, so we'll go pull that out of there. We'll wait for that to drop to 0. Let's just turn this off while we're waiting. That will actually protect this greenhouse gas as well. We are going to have to turn that back on, that valve, because it's too warm in that tank, so this won't put more carbon dioxide into the greenhouse. But that'll run for quite a while before we run out of carbon dioxide in there. There we go. That's pure carbon dioxide now. At 30 degrees. Temperature is coming up a little bit, so let's turn these off. And that is ready for sale. 1,600 moles in that tank. So let's go sell this guy his 1,000 units of carbon dioxide. Oh, you're kidding me. Are we out of power? Oh, of course we are. Well, that's a good time for a break, I guess. We'll come back in the morning and sort that out. Oh, shoot, I can't get in here. There we are. I guess we'll just stand in the dark in the greenhouse and eat a baked potato off the floor. This is the glamorous life of a stationeer. Okay, while we wait for that power to come back on, I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll see you shortly. Okay, we're back. Took a little break, did some editing. Have kind of a basic plan for what I'm going to do next. Basically, we have to just wait a little bit till the power comes back. I think I'm going to go out and mine. Yeah, battery's doing alright. See if we have enough power to make the airlock work. Looks like it. Let's check the battery. Yeah, the batteries are just stone dead. Let's just turn off as much extraneous power as we can. Turn that off. We'll have to rearm that. And there's nothing I can do about those intake vents. So I'm just going to continue trying to cut this hill down a little bit. I've been trying to mine this thing down to closer to level so that we can build out this direction when the base gets a little bigger. So I'm going to keep working on that and just gather some resources in the meantime. Okay, I didn't really find all that much while I was out mining, because I was mainly focusing on cutting that hill down to size, but got some progress made on that. We're going to manually kick the panels around towards this morning sun so that they... shoot. Come on. Need to get these things pointed towards the sun so that they gather some power and start tracking properly. There, we're getting some power. Let's see if the tracking chip is re-engaged. There we are.
Waste tank caution.
And now it looks like they're tracking properly. Okay, we're going to get one more station battery set up. Let's get this battery installed. Needs a frame. So we'll put it here. And we'll weld that up. There we are. And we'll have to run upstairs and grab some cables. I got some super heavy cables printing. Have to rewire this a little bit. Okay, let's go grab some more cables. And the shelf is kind of in the way. Let's just pull that out of the way. Okay, so third battery. That way when we get a storm, the storm power will last us a little longer after the fact. Boy, we are just about dead on power again. Let's turn this off real quick. And if we can... Oh, we got a storm incoming. That's perfect timing on that battery. So let's try and pump in on here. See if we can sell this to this guy. So that's 23 degrees and pure. Ah, no battery again. Oh, there, it's pumping. We need 1,000 moles. There we are. There we are. Sold. And hopefully that fixes the groaning. Apparently we're going to need a tank on that. That looks like that's working. Let's pump that back out of the landing pad, back to vacuum. And now I think we can tell this guy to leave. I think we've done everything we need at this point. 140. Yeah, rice and pumpkins would be nice, but we can't afford them. And there's nothing else to sell. I don't really want to sell any water just yet. So let's just tell him to depart. And he can get out of here before the storm hits. Okay, let's turn that off, save some power. I would try and call a new trader down, but to be honest, I don't know if we have the power. Well, a couple solid red lights, we might have just enough. We're hardly using any right now. Let's see if we can grab a trader real quick. We'll just see who's here. Galactic Gravels. Yeah, we got a couple, potentially. There we are. Okay, let's just check the batteries real quick while that's interrogating. Yeah, looking fine. That should do it. Now let's turn that off. We'll save a little bit of power there. And can we call him down? Just before the storm. I don't know how long that's going to be, but it's quite close. Actually, let's get some more of these in so we can stop falling down this little gap here. Oh, and of course our battery's dead. There. Okay, would be nice to buy some silicon or some iron. What will he buy? He wants a ship refuel. And that we could probably make as well. Oh, the welding torch. Yeah, that's going to be tricky to make. Packaged burger. Oh, mining belt Mark II. Let's sell him that. And let's actually just real quickly clear this up a little bit. Okay, let's sell this mining belt real quick. Let's see about buying some materials. It seems silly, but iron just really would be nice. Let's buy 242 of those. Oh, yeah, okay. Close. Buy 100 more. And let's buy, how many of those can we get? 30? 30 of those. Perfect. And there's the storm, so let's head back inside.
Waste tank caution.
Just in time. Okay, so we had a quick snack. We're going to come out here, even though the storm's going, we're going to try and get these turned back on. We'll turn on the cooling rigs, the boost coolers. We'll turn on the high efficiency cooler, the evaporative cooler. And we'll also start processing some more carbon dioxide. Let's see. Yeah, that tank is full, so We can come over here and turn these on. And don't forget to turn the pump on. There we are. And that's not going to be pure because we're processing. Pollution tank, there's our night gas tank. Night gas is full and not very high temperature, so that's perfect. Alright, let's come over to the new greenhouse. And we'll step inside there and wait out the storm. Yeah, oxygen is up to 57% in here. So I have the valve closed on the CO2 tank downstairs, so it's not bringing in any new CO2 because it's actually a little bit too warm. So the oxygen is climbing rapidly here, but we're not in any danger of running out of carbon dioxide anytime soon, so I'm just going to leave that closed for now. During the storm, we can process quite a bit of carbon dioxide, so we want to let that run as much as possible. Let's top off our propellant tank for our jetpack. I should set this Omni power transmitter up somewhere in here. Be good to get an extra one of those going. Maybe we'll put it over here. I think, let's see, where is the wiring? There we go. It's 35 degrees in here too. This is getting kind of warm in here. We're going to have to be... We might have to get some cooling on this, separate from just bringing in the cold carbon dioxide. Let's head back out and turn off the processing. We got to get some cool carbon dioxide into this room. Okay, 39 degrees, and that should cool off pretty quickly. Let's just double check these air conditioners are turned on. Yes, they are, and they are running. I thought these were charging faster. They definitely are charging, but those small wind turbines don't really produce all that much power, so I guess it's not enough to fill up 3 whole batteries. Okay, this is down to 27, so when it gets below 25... Oh, actually, no, we gotta check this. Yeah, 28. Okay, so this tank's at 27.3, and this is just about down below that temperature, so as soon as they equalize, I'll open this valve. There, they're equalized. And so now this tank should be... Was it dropping in pressure? Apparently there was less pressure out there. That's fine. As soon as this gets down below 25, the automation should start putting pressure back into the greenhouse. Okay, so this is 26.6. We'll just wait and let this cool down. Oh, the storm's over, so I can head back out. So this is resolved. The greenhouse will cool itself off now. We'll have to see how well that does. Okay, so something I noticed while I was hooking up, or while I was selling that gas to that trader, the pad, when it got over a kilomole of gas stored, it started kind of groaning, and so we're going to need to install some holding tanks on these pads. How do we... A tank kit is required to continue construction. I need a screwdriver? Is it just a regular tank, not an insulated tank? I'm not sure what I need there. Let's just actually check before we put this on. I'm curious what the volume of this pad is. So that has a capacity of 500 liters. And then if I put this on, now it has a capacity of still 531. Huh. Wonder if it's not connected or... We'll have to see. So what's the capacity of this one? It's 103. Oh. One. Yeah, weird. 531 liters.
Waste tank caution.
Okay, yeah, so it only starts with 100 liters, and then when we put the tank on there, that adds substantially. Let's put this one here, I guess. And now if we look, so that went from 103 up to, yeah, 603. It's weird that those are different. Not sure why that is. Oh, and I guess let's wire these in too, or plumb these in as well. Okay. And let's just see if there's any other traders while we're running around here. I don't know why I had that turned all the way down. Space spices. Let's see if we can get them. Okay. Well, have to turn on the landing pad. Let's turn on our bigger landing pad. There we are. Be nice to be able to tell those apart. Okay, what do you have for sale? Food. That's kind of what I expected. Nothing I want to buy. Will you buy anything from me? So both of these guys want ship refuels, so I guess we're going to have to manufacture some fuel and sell that. Let's work on that. Before we are able to do that... Oh, they buy wheat and stuff, too. That's interesting. That's 28 wheat. That might be worth doing. So one of the things I'd like to do is I'd like to turn this pipe, instead of just having this pipe hooked up to the carbon dioxide, I'd like to get some turbo pumps on here and hook that up, basically turn that into a bus so that we can put whatever kind of gas onto the trading network that we want, and move stuff between tanks. It's just a lot more versatile than running a whole bunch of independent pipes for every individual tank. So let's look at getting some turbo pumps. What do we need? Gold and electrum. Okay, so we've made a few turbo pumps. So let's come down here and have a look at this. So this line here I'd like to turn into a common bus that will attach to different tanks as needed. So we'll start by unhooking from the carbon dioxide kind of direct connection. Okay, I took a short break, had to step away from the computer for a while, and I did some editing. I know I was in the middle of working on this, and this is rather abrupt, but I'm going to take a quick break from the main bus construction and repair these panels quickly, and also do a bit of upgrading around a few things. We do need some more power, and I think we're running low on cooling here as well. We're going to have to get ahead of that before we get too far behind the ball. Okay, we'll take a quick look at the batteries, see how they're doing. Sun's just coming up, so we should be good. Yeah, we got some power coming in pretty soon here, so... let's have a quick look at the tanks. 18, so that's nice and cool. Let's just turn this boost cooler off for the time being. And we'll just leave the backbone cooler on. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit more construction on the main bus. How can we do this? Okay, so that's the cooler line. This one here is the CO2 line. And I really should have painted some of these, but such is life. Yeah, we're just going to leave this main bus idea for the time being. I'm just going to abandon this at the present time. In the meantime, we're just going to hook up manual pipes. I need to work on the design of this a little bit better and come up with something a little more permanent. Okay, in the meantime, I would like to start working on, let's see, that's the second floor. The third floor is going to be probably flat walls. I guess we'll go with white or some color flat wall. So I'm just going to put just a temporary wall here. So that's the second floor hallway, and then that would be the third floor. So we'll come up here. Okay. To start with, we're going to start by replacing as much of this backbone as we can with super heavy cable. So that just goes. Okay. Not going to replace that just yet. We'll worry about doing that shortly. Right now, we need to get super heavy up to this floor here. Okay, so we'll move these solar panels up to the upper floor here. Ah, shoot. Used the wrong cable. There we go. I don't know what was going on, but for some reason my jetpack wasn't working properly. It still doesn't appear to be. I don't know what's... Something's pushing me down. Yeah, that's really weird. Ooh, yeah, that thrust is way too much. Very strange. Okay, that should more than double our solar production. It should double because we have twice as many panels, and now the panels are also a little bit higher up, so we should get sunlight earlier in the day and also later at night. That should solve our power issues for the time being. Okay, and then let's see about getting a little bit more water made. Let's start by turning this on. We'll run this. So it looks like this works fine in continuous operation. So the gas mixer is keeping up. And how's our cooling tank doing? Okay, so that's 147 in there. Let's pull just a tad bit of it through. So there's 50 moles in there, so that should be a liter. And in this one we have a liter and a third. Yeah, so these are keeping up reasonably well. We'll probably get another evaporator on there to keep that 20-degree line cool. Okay, is there room for another phase change device? I think if I move this tank, put those frames down, so we'll put that tank down there, plumb that in real quick. There we go. That should be connected to those, which means we can safely remove this one here. That's going to need a pump. Okay, we're carrying turbo pumps. This is exactly the tool for this job. For once something's working out in my favor. There we are. It's going to take quite a while to drain that. Once that drains, we will be able to put another evaporator in here. In the meantime, let's remove some of this extraneous wire. Okay. So that is running again. And that's still taking forever to drain. Oh, I know why. Just going to put a long section on here that should increase the volume, and then now that should drain much more quickly. Yeah, that's draining much faster. Okay, let's actually add a lever to this as well. So I'd like a system out here. There we go. So when I pull this, I want to be able to just tell this manually dump these tanks. So if we're coming into night and we're close to the dump temperature anyway, but not quite there, I can force it to dump the night gas tank. So let's... Okay, let's confirm that. Let's import the code from this chip and edit it. So R0 sets whether we're dumping or not. So let's OR R0 with R2. And let's read into R2 from the lever. And what is it? Open, I guess? Let's do it like this. So we'll do it right here and we'll OR it to R0. And then R0 gets ANDed with R1, so it'll still stop at 150 kilopascals, but it will dump all the way down to that if we put in the lever, pull the lever. However, that does only work during the day. It's a subtle limitation of the lever, but that's fine. So if we run this right now, it should do nothing, which is unfortunate. But in the future, we'll be able to do that. Okay, so that's updated. Let's look at... That has 1 kilopascal in it. We're just going to take it apart. There we are. Tank removed. And I guess we'll reinstall it down here just for good measure. So now we can put in another... Okay, let's grab that phase change device. I'll have to mount it like that. That's going to want steel sheets and a welder. And let's very quickly plumb this one back in. And we'll leave room for one more here. In fact, can we leave room for one more yet? I think we can. There we are. And we had just enough pipe there with us. Okay, so that one should still be working again. Let's just double check that that's operating as expected. That's 20 degrees, and that is looking good. It is exchanging heat with the pipe, okay. And now we'll need to wire that one in. We'll copy the settings over. Okay. And now that's going to need liquid and gas exhaust. Okay. So that should be fairly easy to do. Let's grab a little bit more pipe. Okay, so that's that. And then now we'll just need the liquid pipe as well. So let's remove this pump. And let's pull this extra cabling. There we are. Oh, let's just test this real quick here too. So now that it's daytime, if we pull this lever, we go into dump mode. And if we put the lever back, we go back into... Yeah, there we are. So now we can leave this all day, because this shouldn't be ready to dump just yet. Yeah, 139. It's just about getting to dump temperature. Actually, it's 150 is dump temperature, so it won't dump. But then this evening we can force that to dump. Okay, and let's do a little bit more plumbing. There, so that's just set up in place, and then let's put in that corner, and that corner. Okay, and now if we turn this on, we should be getting cooling as well. So it's 20 kilojoules, and this one is exchanging negative kilojoules. Why is that? Because that's coming to temperature, probably the other one. So it's 12 degrees in there. Okay. I think those are working. Let's throw some heat at that and see how they handle it. Okay, so that has about a liter of water in it. Let's just start making more. And let's just set this, instead of 1/10 of a liter per second, let's set it to 3 milliliters per second and just turn this on a trickle and see what happens here. So this should come up in temperature until it reaches an equilibrium where the heat exchanger is dumping heat into these pipes, these coolant pipes, as quickly as the heat fluid is being added.
Hunger caution.
Okay, so that's holding it. Oh, geez, we're running out of breathable air here. And now I think this is looking pretty decent. So we have 1/4 of a milliliter in there. It's 152 and holding. And this is slowly climbing in temperature, but that 142 seems pretty stable. 152. Yeah, see, that's pretty much equalized, or reached equilibrium there. And this has reached, yeah, equilibrium around 42. And this CO2 is climbing, but it might not even climb above 20. Much above 20. At 20 degrees, these should start pulling out heat. Oh, and it looks like our dump system is auto-dumping now at 140. I thought it was 140 was the set point. I think 150 was the pressure. I think that's what I was thinking of. So these are pulling 700 joules each. And we've got plenty of pollutant, which is nice and cold. And that pressure is looking good. Oh, we should plumb this in too. There we are. Okay, so we've expanded this cooler a little bit to better handle the heat loading. How quickly is this dumping? Is this going to make it before nightfall? Looks like it probably will, or dump most of it at least. Yeah, 21.8 degrees, so that's keeping up with that. And this is making water continuously now. Beautiful. 25 kPa in there, so that we should actually be still only 0.6 of a mole. We should see if we can get, I don't know how we would get higher pressure on that. Maybe put a pump in there. And that's keeping up too. Okay, power looks good. We're continuously producing water and the coolers are keeping up. Yeah, 21.6. So this water production is going to slow down a little bit as that night gas tank empties. Boy, that does really warm the air out here from all that heat being dumped. Oh, interesting. That's cycling a little bit because of the... Let's just see if we can turn that off temporarily. Yeah, so we're still coming into night. The temperature's still dropping. So as soon as we fully hit night, this should start filling again. wait for that to happen. How's this all looking? That's got plenty of capacity. Let's switch that out with a turbo pump too. There we go, and the night gas tank is filling again. Why is it filling with 137 degree air? It's 126 over here. Why is that so warm? Did it heat up that much? 136, it must have just heated up that much. There we go. So this is actually below the condensation pressure, so if we run the purifiers, it's gonna... Oh, we need more CO2 badly. Let's get these going. And then let's get the boost coolers going as well.
Hunger critical.
Okay, I think that's a good stopping point for now, so we moved these up so we can put in a second floor hallway up here. I think I actually went one floor too high, but that's fine. That leaves us some room for expansion. We doubled our solar panel capacity. We also got this water system tuned up and running pretty well. So that's still holding its temperature. Our CO2 line is pressurizing. And that means our greenhouse should be getting CO2 again. Oh, and that's why the oxygen got so high in here, the concentration, because if that intake stopped...
Hydration critical.
Yeah, it's a little bit warm in there. We're going to have to let that come up to pressure and then cool off. But I think that's a good time to stop for now. So please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I see quite a bit of watch time from people who aren't subscribed, and the channel's still growing. So spread the word and share it with your friends if you like this content and want to see more of it. So until next time, bye for now.